0.2, I'm going to type in 0.2 to represent 2 decimal places. Precision comes before the conversion character. And then I want the program to automatically put commas in the value, in the number, where necessary. So if it's 20,000, I want it to automatically know where to put a comma, so 20, 000. And so the comma flag comes before the precision, and the precision comes before the conversion character. And then I'm going to put a $sign right in front of the final output. Now the format function returns a string, so you don't have to worry about concatenating a string to something else that's not a string. It will be a string. The format function will always return a string. Okay, so that's our first argument, right? So I'm going to have a comma here, and then we're going to have our second argument. So it says display messages telling the user the total amount of the purchase and how much each installment will cost. So the next thing is going to be our each installment. So each installment, similar to what we just did here, I'm going to concatenate it to the variable each installment because that contains that. I'm going to format this value just like we did for the total purchase amount. So again, the format function takes in what you want to format and how you want it formatted as a second argument. I want this formatted as a floating point value, formatted to 2 decimal places, put commas in there where necessary. And then I'm going to put the $sign here. Okay, so we have 2 arguments in the print function. So one here, oops, that's one argument, and this is the other argument. Again, this line here has exceeded this gray line, my guide to make sure that I'm typing 80 characters in a line. So in order to break this line, I'm going to break it somewhere around here. Type in a backslash and hit enter. And then I'm going to break it again because it's still exceeding, so somewhere around here, type in a backslash and then hit enter. So I think we're good here. So before we even get into that, I wanted to talk about the print function a little bit. Let's run it to see where we are. So I'm going to run this, save this. I need to create a shortcut for where I save my program. So let's actually do that now. Let's see. Dropbox, code, Python, YouTube. Okay, so this is what I want. Let's actually, if possible, just create a shortcut here. That's going to help going forward. Chapter 2. Yeah, I was supposed to create a folder for this one. I'll fix it later. All right. So this is going to be payment installment. That's payment installment .py. And let's actually create a folder in here. Call it payment installment. And so that's where it's going to go. Save. All right, so please enter the amount of purchase. Let's type in 5,000, hit enter. How many payments do you want to pay this? Let's do 5. So the total amount of purchase is going to be $250. Okay, there's something off here. Each installment is $50. Okay, so there's something off here. So let's see. Installment fee percentage is 5%. Purchase amount is equal to this. So the user types in the purchase amount. The number of installment, the user types in that. Okay, so the total purchase amount is not equal to just 5%. So over here we just calculated 5% of the purchase amount and stored it in total purchase amount. But really, this is just 5% of it. And so it's supposed to be the purchase amount, the original purchase amount, plus 5% of the purchase amount. Right, so that's going to be our total purchase amount. So that should fix it. But this line is exceeding the gray line here, so let's break it somewhere around here. Actually, we can break it somewhere around here. Type in a backslash and hit enter. So we're good. Let's test this again. So 5,000. How many times do you want to pay this off? Let's do 5. Now that looks better. So the total amount of purchase is going to be 5,250. So what's 5% of 5,000? If you do 5,000 times 0.05, that's 250. So if I add 250 to the original amount, it's also the same as doing 5,000 times 1.05. That's 5% of that. So that's 5,250. And if you take 5,250 and you divide by 5 installments, you should get 1050 each, which is exactly what we're getting here. Okay, so by default, when you pass an argument into the print function, they are displayed with a space separating them. So this here is one argument. This here is one argument. Then we have a comma, and then this here is another argument. So by default, they are displayed with a space separating them. So the total amount of purchase, this is the first argument, and then there's a space here, and then there's a second argument. Let's kind of break them on separate lines. So if you can basically change that default behavior of arguments being separated with a space. You can change that default space separator to something else. So I'm going to pass in another argument, SEP, and then set it to something else. I'm going to type in a \n. So that's a new line character. So I'm saying remove that default space of separating argument and then replace it with a new line character. What it means is display the first argument, but don't separate it with a space, separate it with a new line character. What it's going to do is it's going to print out this here, separate it with a new line character, move the position from here to the next line, and then whatever follows this, which is this second argument, will be displayed from that next line going. So now when I run this, try again with 5,000 in 5 payments, we can see that the two lines have been broken down to 2 separate lines. Just a nice way of separating things. All right, let's try one more value. Let's try if I owed 45,000 and I wanted to pay it off in 24 months. My total will be $47,250 and each installment will be $1,968.75. Okay, so that solved it. Okay, so if you have any questions, please post down below and I'll do everything to respond to them. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves as always, and I'll see you next time in the next program. All right then, bye-bye.